Oh, somebody just banged their microphone there.
Yeah, he was super helpful about it. He wants to.
What? I think we're live.
Mm-hmm. Live-ish?
All right. Well, after a slight bit of technical difficulty, let's blame my jet lag since it's midnight for me and not Chris's new computer. Let's blame that. Okay. Since it's midnight in my brain and not 4 p.m. Central Time, we'll blame that. Welcome to our Friday live stream. I am Darstar Long, and you are watching Shroud of the Avatar. And today's live stream is all going to be about a bunch of changes we have made and are going to make to our new user experience. And maybe if we have time, we're going to show off some the new dungeons that we've been working on. And as always, there will be prizes. And how many ways can you win a prize?
2.
That's right.
I like this background, Chris. This is new. I like it.
2 ways to win a prize. You can make a purchase from the web store of some crowns or something from the Stretch Goal store or the Make a Difference store, or no purchase necessary because that is the law. You can go inside the game and type our not so secret phrase, dance till you're dead. By the way, I got a lot of quote, I'll say feedback from the team about my grammar of our secret phrase, since I used the word till instead of until.
It wasn't till that we were criticizing, but go on.
Use the your.
Oh, your. Oh, you are instead of the you.
Can we confirm? Was it yeah song lyrics?
It was yeah song.
That's what I was defending you the whole time. I said you copied some song lyrics. That's how they wrote it.
Right.
Not all of us knew that. Not all of us knew that.
Well,
you just said this
also
is not proper English.
I always try to make the phrase something that is quick to type. So quick heads up there. I always try to, so I skip things like, grammar when I'm doing it. Anyway, so those are the 2 ways you can win a prize today. And we'll have 2 prize drawings, one at 4:15 and 4:45. And there's all sorts of cool stuff. And all the prizes are dungeon themed, since we're going to talk about some dungeons today. And there weren't really any things I could pull from the store that said new user. So dungeon themed it is. So, I've missed all of you. I haven't been around for a couple of weeks because I've been on vacation and to terrible, awful Barcelona, which, awful 70 degrees and sunny every day and just terrible, terrible food and ugly architecture, and people were just so mean. I absolutely do not recommend it. Don't go there. Absolutely don't want to retire there. It's not like I got to go see the ruins of my wife's family castle along the Mediterranean coast. Terrible. Anyway, missed all of my amazing team, my amazing community. Glad to be back. By the way, it is the month of June, and we have some June login rewards. And you have a couple of weeks left to do that. And they are 2 rewards. You can get an Obsidian Potion of Guidance, and the Potion of Guidance lets you spend your experience points faster to level up your skills better. And in order to boost that experience use, we're going to give you 250,000. That's right, 250,000 adventure XP to spend on all that. And all you have to do is log in during the month of June. So
they say the audio is set up right. First, let me apologize for us not being live 15 or 20 minutes ahead of time. We'd planned on doing that. As anybody watched my stream earlier this week knows, I just got a new computer and I have it set up for streaming. but I had not set it up for Skype, and I couldn't get Skype to show up. So at the last minute, we switched over to use Google Hangouts, and I couldn't get that to work either. And then I ended up having to do like a full screen capture, and it's crazy down here. So apologies for being late. My fault.
Can I say thanks to Lancel with a huge pile of bits, and Catherine Rose, and I don't want to miss anyone. Kenneth. Oh my gosh, that's a ton. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for the bits. And also, those of you watching, don't forget to subscribe, because not only do we have regular live streams every Friday and every month, but just about every day there's a live stream too. Doesn't come at a regular time, so if you want to know when we're live streaming, if you subscribe to our Twitch channel, you'll get an automatic notification when that happens.
I think you can just follow and still get the. You can just follow and still get the notification.
Oh yeah, right. So, oh, they're giving some feedback of Nuke the Music.
And John Marcus.
That's probably me.
And Lord British Rules. I don't know.
Oh, no, I've got my music all the way down here.
That Lord British Rules guy is. He seems like a big fan.
Where's the music coming from?
Is someone playing instruments?
No, I've got my music. I mean, they can see my music's all the way down here.
Thanks, Pepperos.
Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I think I've got the editor running in the background as well.
Oh, you hit play on the editor, yeah.
Yeah, because I was trying to get in and set up for the dungeon stuff, because, you know, I'm always super prepared.
All right. Yeah, we're pro streamers, in case you haven't noticed. We're super pro. We're the proest of the pro. Never a single mistake, because we're super pro.
We're getting a lot better.
Sincere. We are. Yeah. All right. All sorts of cool stuff happening. If you haven't seen the weekly update, or you didn't see last week's live stream, which I missed as well, so hopefully I won't say something that we didn't show, but we have the largest homes we've ever made, ever. Up until now, there have been 4 sizes of homes. So we've had row, village, town, and city homes. But we've had 6 lot sizes. So we've had row, village, town, city, keep, and castle. And then those of you familiar with our housing system, each lot size is double the size of the lot below it. So a village lot is twice as big as a row lot, a town lot is twice as big as a village lot, and so on and so on. So by the time you get to a castle lots are super, 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 super big, like monstrous. But our biggest house was only city size, which is really big, but we got feedback that players would like larger homes, like keep and castle size homes, which we didn't think was possible, because how would you fill that up? But players really wanted it. So your wish is our command, and so we've started creating keep and castle sized homes. So starting today, like first time ever, today actually, we have our first ever castle sized homes, a giant pirate galleon castle home. There's a dry dock version and a water home, and they're you can see them in Hometown. They're over on the backside of Hometown. One's on the little island and one's out in the water, and they are monstrous. 7 decks. They are. I think we showed them in the live stream last week. Is that right? Did we show them off?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. But if you really want to run around and see what it looks like, they're over there. They're the biggest thing that we've ever made so far.
Oh, is that T branches?
Yeah, this is one. I forgot my mic on. I do have my mic on. This is one that is on display in game now that someone's actually going to be decoing, I suspect. So probably this is a better place. This is over in Novia Market.
And they've been waiting this entire time and getting the upgrades, and they were the first in. Confirmed first in the database, by the way, T-Branch. We know you wanted it, and we're waiting.
Yeah, and so, and then this is going to be quickly followed in Release 68 by 3 more of these monstrous homes. So there's going to be a keep sized version of this pirate galleon. And then there's going to be the Lord of the Isle Castle Home, which I think we may have previewed last week as well. Is that right?
Yeah, the exterior, yeah, and flew around it a little bit.
Yeah, and so that is going to be going live in release 68 as well. And so that'll be a total of 5 keep and castle size homes.
Hey Chris, can you go to the balcony out of the captain's cabins when you're done? That's my. Oh, that's nice. That's a good hoard.
Wait, has T-Brand already done all this decoration?
Yeah, he's already started his pirate treasure hoard. Love it.
Wow, this is
on the bottom.
That's like a pirate king. That's not a pirate captain.
Well, if you didn't see, that was me going up the multiple layers, and this was.
Yeah.
This is something I stumbled upon, but it needed a lot of love, which Damon gave it a lot of love.
Yeah, I did.
Like I basically, if anybody watched me, I got it to use for a pirate encounter, and I actually bought kind of a base asset, but it was horrible enough that I was like, I'd really like to get this live, but it's just not quite good enough. But Damon went and looked at it, and that's the big thing. Let's see if I can go check.
Show him the balcony and the captain's cabin. This is my favorite part on the whole ship. Like, I love the ship.
I was just showing off the windows that you can now go through. Where's this balcony? Is that the top?
I can go down one more.
Down one more?
There's a ladder right behind you, right?
Because that's the best part of a super fancy ship.
Right, there's a ladder right there, right?
It's the crazy back with the, with the filigree and the name of the ship. And just the fact that you can deco and hang out here. Can you zoom out to, like, show yourself at the, I don't know if you want to salute, show the back of the ship? It's really nice looking.
Someone gonna play the Titanic music for me?
No, you gotta slash aeroplane first, and you're at the wrong end of the ship. But yes.
Yeah. So this is for sale right now in the Crown Shop, along with a bunch of other stuff, including. What?
You're not looking at what I'm looking at.
The disco ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's awesome.
Is that one of the new ones?
Yes, that's the new one. That he has.
Show the back end of the ship, Chris. It's great.
I'm trying to get to the other side.
Oh, just to do your
speed boost
Titanic emote? Okay.
It's taking you too long to walk across this huge ship.
Yeah.
How do I get out there?
While it's taking him so long to walk,
prizes.
What might happen? Prizes?
Prizes. I'm thinking prizes. Anybody else thinking prizes?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, let's give out some prizes. First, we've got a green marble dungeon rooms and hallways pack. Goes to Infernal. Ornate 5 connection minecart dungeon foyer goes to Engineer. Ancient Tomb dungeon entrance plus 50-point dungeon goes to Iron Fist Warhammer. A dungeon iron cage with skeleton goes to Ice Mistress. Ancient stone dungeon rooms and hallways pack goes to Takamune. And finally, an ornate giant Grim Reaper statue with magic portal dungeon entrance goes to Aisa.
All right, congratulations all of the prize winners. And a reminder, there are 2 ways to be eligible for prizes in today's live stream. You can either make a purchase in our web store, or you can be inside the game and type in-game chat, "Dance till you're dead." All right. And so this is just one of the new things that added to the Crown Shop today. So 2 of these ships, this version and the dry dock version, the 2019 version of the Lord British birthday cake, including the unique cupcakes, and the Lord British birthday cake, along with the Lord British recurring items, will expire on the 5th of July, which is the day after his birthday, and when we will be doing our next monthly live stream. The Death Adder cloaks, those were originally going to be a cross promotion that we are going to do with Razor ID, but that's not going to happen, so we just decided to add them to the Crown Shop. Ruined furniture, so just in time for Halloween, 4 months away.
That is a giant pack of furniture, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it'll fill up an entire house. We're going to probably break it up into smaller packs, but...
Yeah. And also the disco ball. So there were we made a disco ball, a couple of weeks ago. Folks said, hey, we'd really like to be able to scale that up bigger, but visual effects don't scale up, so we made you guys a large and a huge version of that. So if you have larger spaces. And then, of course, the latest version of the vault items are going to be live for till next Thursday, and that includes prosperity tools, which I know some folks were very excited to see those back, even for only a limited time. And a reminder, all sorts of really cool stuff in Release 66, including a bunch of top-tier tameable creatures and the Luminous Atavists, who are back for the summer months to terrorize, all us Outlanders who are, being impure. And then, of course, the Clockwork Dragon now can be made into a trophy decoration. So super exciting, along with a bunch of other stuff, including new user experience polish, which is what we're going to be showing off soon. And a reminder, there's some cool dance theme Release 66 rewards that you can only get if you're part of the rewards program. So a hustler hat, a hustle dance emote, and a colorful mallard duck pet. And there's all sorts of amazing community events happening this month, including 3 different events, heavy role-playing events for the I'm probably going to mangle the pronunciation of this, the Midsummer Blot. And there's the Release 66 version of the Welcome Quest. The Concert by the Sea has been rescheduled for this weekend. There's a Grandmaster tutoring event for Pride, the 5th annual Soldiers Memorial Ball, and the Shroud of the Avatar.net's monthly raffle, among other recurring events. So check out the community events section of the forums. And then Release 67 is coming up at the end of the month, and that'll be going on QA next week. And reminder, when you get on QA, you can get all sorts of exclusive prizes. That's, I think, enough from me for all the news, because I want to leave some time for us to talk about new user experience and show that off, and also maybe show off some new dungeons.
I wanted to pimp a few new features that I snuck in this release that aren't on a list. So there's some people here, obviously, who don't watch my stream. So if you are for R67, I just want to sneak these in because I know it'll get some people excited. If you are a dungeon owner and it's in deco mode, or if you're the owner of a pot and you're in your pot, you can use the /slew command to break your camera away from your player, so you can zoom out and move the camera around and fly. It won't teleport you to the final spot that you're at, but it'll let you fly around and see. So you can get outside your dungeon and fly around and see all that stuff. Same thing with pots, because that was one of those things I'd show off pots to town owners, and they'd be like, I want a screenshot of that, I can't get that, and I need it to lay out stuff. So that's in there now. There's also tons of other little things coming up. The 3 focus skills for the new pets. Some more pet tuning. Lots of little things that are sneaking in anyways. But okay, go ahead.
All right, which are we going to show off first? New user experience?
We can. Are you ready, Keith? Do you want to share screens, or do you want me to...
If you could probably start with making a new character, that would be good.
You want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't shoot Logan. Thank you, Winfield. Thank you, Sentinel.
Hey, Star, someone had a question before. If they are one of our rewards program subscribers, are they eligible for the prizes and the prizing?
They still have to do the message, I think.
They still have to do the message.
Okay.
It's not automatic, yeah.
It's not an automatic entry.
Yeah, do the phrase.
Good to know.
Thank you, Mandalar and Lichmeister, Mr. And yeah, thank you guys.
So what we're about to do is we're about to make a new character, and in previous months and years, players would first go into what's called the Isle of Storms, and they would be this sort of like spiritual-looking form, and they'd talk to Arabella probably, and then they'd go to this magic mirror and pick their form.
Do we just? I'm sorry. Did we just confirm DJ Dorkstar is Chris?
Yeah, I'd already admitted that.
I wondered who that troll was for a while.
We have also confirmed that the name Bilbo had not been used up to this point.
Because you've frozen it?
I didn't freeze. Well, I guess I'd had frozen for a while.
But you claimed it, yeah.
So Chris, on the top left are Skype face, or whatever the faces are. They were blocking the view. And what the players didn't get to see, because you shot through it real fast, was you actually make your character now before you even go into the game. So you get to pick your name and your gender and all your visuals. You get to take your time. You don't have to feel compelled to run through any special quest pieces, but you get to pick your character right there before the game, more like a typical online game. So now that once you're in the game, the action can start. You don't really. We had learned we have ways to sort of track certain things that players do, and we're trying to put in more and more things to track, like how long you spend in conversations, how much combat to get into, things like that. So we saw that players were kind of spending a little bit too much time talking in Isle of Storms or standing in place, and we didn't know if they were researching things. It's hard to tell exactly what the player's thinking, but the evidence suggested that they were feeling that maybe it wasn't a game that was for them, and we want them to know that the game isn't necessarily just like looking at a pretty scene and just talking to NPCs. There's action, and so we wanted to get you into the action a lot faster. So that's what happens right now. So Chris made his character. Boom, he's right in the action. He's in the Battle of Solus Bridge. This was a scene that we remade a few months ago, or even longer than that, I guess. Maybe it's a year ago now. And it is the best of our 3 sort of early starter scenes. So we decided to always bring you to this scene, or at least for now. Chris, right up ahead of Chris is a zombie, so we bring the action to you like even sooner than before. We've added extra monsters.
More zombies.
Yeah, more zombies. We've done some refinements here and there within the scene, and we'll continue to do more as we have these like at least weekly discussions about the new user experience, and they go on for a while, and we sort of pick apart like what we think works best, what should be refined. Now that we've removed Isle of Storms, what needs to be moved into these early scenes. We don't want to flood you with excess information, because we kind of thought that was part of what wasn't working so well with Isle of Storms. So we're sort of trying to refine, like, who do we think our typical starting player is. He's probably played some other similar games. He probably knows the WASD keys. He probably knows how to press the hotkey buttons. They probably know how to recognize things that are highlighted, and so they may come a little bit more prepared than just like I bring up my mother sometimes. My mother would have no idea what to do in this game. She wouldn't know how to like move the camera around and stuff, so she'd need more coaching. So we're making a little bit of an assumption that some players that come out of the game don't need all the coaching that we started to lump into Isle of Storms. So the Isle of Storms plays out pretty much as it had been. You know, if you were a player who didn't get to this point, then this is what part of what you're missing. So to players who had played it, let me think of what's been going on. We added more zombies, more skeletons. We fixed bugs like the skeletons had the wrong name over their head. Edvard should never require you to have that bow in your inventory anymore. Even older players may remember that they only got one combat deck to choose from, and a while back we changed it so you get 3, and you still get those 3. We start you off with the bow, so if you don't want to sort of poke around and pick things, then you will have the bow set up by default. We refined some of the compass markers. I can't see Chris's compass, but there is the Escape the Battle of Solus Bridge task that he has up in his task list, and also a compass marker. And I set it up so that the compass marker is sequential. So you go a little bit into the scene, and the marker just changes, and it's just a little bit further ahead. And then you go a little bit more into the scene, it goes a little bit more. There's like 6 or 7 markers to sort of like guide you in, rather than just say like go somewhere on the far side. So I'm giving you incremental assistance. And so there you go.
Yeah, just to repeat what he said on the important part in that is what we had been seeing was we lose people. We're losing a ton of people in the first, 15, 20, 30 minutes because it was all talking and you don't get to actually any action. And we're trying to get people to the action as quick as possible to get them to stick, and then try to expand on the story, and I'll do all that stuff. But you got to show them there's a game back there that's not just reading books for long periods of time. It's kind of the goal. How am I doing? Let's see. Investigate the tavern. Got it. Check. Rescue Charlotte. Check. Escape the Battle of Solus Bridge. Working on it. Oh, this skeleton's tougher than the other ones.
So one of the things we've been talking about lately, we're not sure, we don't have a final, we don't have a lockdown yet, but we've been talking about like when should be the first time a player meets with a trainer. We'd like for you to learn about obtaining skills, and we want you to do that in a natural feeling progression at an appropriate point. And we'd like you to get to kill some things, to get a sense of like how combat works, and then get a trainer, go to a trainer, and be able to choose a skill. Choice is always important in these games, whether it's conversation or left and right path or your skills. So you get to choose a skill, and then immediately you fight something else and see that your skill has an effective change that you can use in your tactics and strategies. So it's possible that you might see this area change to include someone who can train you quickly, something simple.
Yeah, we have a pretty not super long list of little tweaks we're gonna make to this. I think
yeah, we have a lot of different opinions that are. Everyone has great opinions, us developers, designers, and programmers. But sometimes the thoughts don't always go well together. So that's part of the reason why we have these weekly conversations. Like someone has a great idea, someone else has a great idea. They don't necessarily go well. Well, is there a middle ground? Is one better than the other? Is there a third option? So we're putting a lot of thought into this stuff, trying to make it better for everyone.
I know B has given Charlotte a dagger and Edvard a club, I think. So that's good.
So they don't keep punching everyone? That's something we would talk about.
I still see Charlotte punching, but yeah, we give him some weapons to fight these zombies.
Yeah.
So Edvard might end up at the end of this encounter.
Right.
To kind of turn that up, and you will have gotten your first skill choice. Is I think one of the reasons.
Yeah, escorts can be troublesome. Charlotte's not too tough because she's kind of more like a pet, so she'll follow you wherever you go. But Edvard, he's on his invisible line.
He's on his own.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of it's a little long. So, maybe you'll just meet him at the top of the hill, and it brings you down here at the bottom of the hill. That's painless.
Mm-hmm.
A little thing I threw in here, Travis, I don't know if you saw, but there's actually 2 boats at the water's edge now. There's the glowing one right there, and there's one a little bit to the right, and it's the one to keep going left. Yeah, yeah. So that's the one that Edvard will be taking after you leave. It occurred to me that I didn't like feeling that I was leaving these people behind to fend for themselves.
I got a little bit on a refresh.
So now, yeah, you and your friends will be split between 2 boats now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was on a little delay there.
So there you go there. So that's the high points of the Battle of Souls Bridge. We've also done some changes to Souls Bridge outskirts. Nothing too elaborate, but subtle, but very effective. And of course, I'll feed my dog now because I think he's about to bark us. I got biscuits ready to distract him. Right, Hero? Yeah, he's happy. He likes when I go on these live streams because then he gets extra treats.
I've heard him bark. If he doesn't, he's figured it out.
He has, for sure. This base of the ramp might change a little bit. We have a bunch of ideas. I guess we don't necessarily have to go too much into it, but I'll mention that we already have put in some resources at the bottom from the bottom of the ramp up the zigzag ramp to the top of it where the bivouac camp starts. And when I say resources, if you don't know, I mean there's some trees you can harvest, some ore, garlic, cotton, the sort of things that you would find just throughout Souls Bridge outskirts, but there's an extra concentration on the bridge, and of course on the ramp. But of course now we see there's also zombies that could appear, so there's some fighting along the way. It's not like a dead space, because before it was just sort of an in-between space that you just climbed up. But now it's...
Yeah, I think we wanted to start fixturing at the river and then have a good high vantage point for the kind of hub and spoke. We talked about moving Kinsey a little easier and/or easier to find too. I think people have been looking in Kinsey. So
yeah, I was kind of okay. This is one of the things where I was kind of okay where Kinsey is. I kind of feel she's okay where she is. But the other group had some good points as to why they wanted to move her. So it's not a deal breaker for me. If they feel strongly about it, they've got some good points, then let's move her. Let's if there's other things, at a case like that, I say okay, if we are actually moving her, is there other things we need to do to move her? Like what else needs to shift? Is there other opportunities we need to take at the same time?
How is it better if she's the hub and that's a weird location because she's over there, not central? So we talk about all these things.
Yeah. And the original plan, the original design I think was pretty solid. We wanted you to sort of go through the camp. You kind of see that people are living in tents now, and it's not a great life. And you can check in with some NPCs, and then when you get to the far end, because you checked in with everyone, get to the far end, and then you talk to the a persistent quest giver, or recurring quest giver. But as designed, it was okay, but in practice, maybe it's not working so well. So, we need to change it. Maybe we need to have Kinsey be a stronger hub, and maybe that means she needs to be earlier on. We also, I took away a few of the incidental NPCs. There were a few that were just, they didn't offer anything. They didn't have a quest. They weren't a trainer. So
they're good for flavor, but confusing if you're searching for something.
Yeah, we don't want to put any of these conversational NPCs in here that don't really contribute something unique. If they don't contribute something unique, then let's remove them, because they're extraneous fluff. Kinsey, when Chris walked up, maybe you saw that she was reading a document, and that was she has these little emotes that she does now, and she sometimes comes out of her camp, her headquarters right there.
A checklist.
Yeah, and I tried to make her face a good direction, because there had been just general reports that she would sometimes face away from the player. Like she would be inside her headquarters facing that barrel, facing the far wall, and that wasn't the most sensible experience. Like if you're looking for an important character, they should most likely be looking for you as well. And so for her to face the far wall, it just didn't make any sense.
And we talked about changing it so her name wasn't. That was the thing I ran up here, and of course I knew who it was, but it was it was the bivouac commander. I think that's something we're going to change too, is make it so at least Captain Kinsey, you know their name before you see them. You don't have to run up, because if not, you sit here and run around looking for all the captain. Where's Captain Kinsey? I don't see a Captain Kinsey. That's not them. That's the bivouac commander.
There's also a special conversation gimmick where if you talk to one character and they tell you about another character, I can force that name. I can force you to earn that name. And I had that gimmick wrong. I set that gimmick up wrong. So people were telling me Kinsey, but they weren't doing that forced learning situation, which it should be better now. But yeah, we can make her say like Kinsey, like right from the start. Maybe she never has like a generic name. What else do we do here? There were the kids, those dancing kids who were talking about Bloody Bones, who were like one of the first things you saw when you came into the camp. That was a little bit of a distraction because it wasn't necessarily, it didn't relate to an activity that we wanted you to do right away. So we moved them to one side. They're still there, and you can still talk to them and do their quest, but they moved to one side. What else did we do? I think those are the biggest parts. Yeah, so that's the big parts of how the camp changed, and that's those are pretty much the high points of Solo Sprint Outskirts so far that players will notice. I put in a bunch of extra onks for if there's any players who thought there weren't enough onks in here. Usually it's actually kind of funny. Usually there's like 6 or 7 onks in a scene spread throughout. Usually one at each exit, 1 or 2 or 3 somewhere like in the middle, depending upon how the layout is. And this scene, I think it had 16 onks, and I think it now has like 24 onks or something like that. So a lot of onks now. I put several onks in the river for those people who, like me, like jumping off ridiculously high areas to see if they can survive, and probably won't. So a lot of onks down there. Some of the onks set up that if you die and use the onk, if you die like by the river and use the onk, it'll either bring you up like right next to the onk, or it'll bring you up like on the edge, depending if the cliffside is too tough. Yeah, I think. Can you guys think of anything else that we talked about putting in there?
Yeah.
Players might notice.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that's. I've had some players go back. I've had some people asking about the where'd the creepy kids go in some of my streams.
Oh yeah, they're on the other side of the tents. They're still by the tents. They're just on the other side of the tents. Little bit of out of sight, but accessible.
And the completionist, all the people who want to do everything, they'll find them eventually. It's just we're trying to change the order to get it so the people who just want to sprint through this content,
I'm not sure the stream is going.
What? Oh, the stream's going.
Oh, okay.
It's going for me.
Yeah, it's going.
Okay.
Can you guys tell Star that the stream is going?
I did have to refresh. I was at like a 2-3 minute delay, and then it was fine as soon as I refreshed.
Oh, okay.
Looks fine to me.
Twitch has been having global problems this last 1 or 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, I've had the chat die on me multiple times now, and like it goes down everywhere on Twitch. It's not just me.
Back to Kinsey for a moment. Sometimes, previously, she might sometimes tell you like, "Oh, you should go talk to Sergeant Sedgwick. They might need help," and it was just a reference. Now there's actually like a task that says, "Go talk to Sedgwick." If you haven't already talked to Sedgwick, go talk to Sedgwick, and then you get a little compass marker. So she does a better job at directing you around to her people, or even to the farmer. Like if you haven't talked to the farmer over here, Fillmore. At a certain point, assume you've done a few things first, she might say like, there's a farmer out there, you might want to go talk to him and see if he needs any help. So there's more direction going on.
Let's go down to Fillmore's ranch. No, we're gonna kill some zombies.
Oh yeah, and we're supposed to talk about some other stuff here, so we can't spend the entire stream talking on this. We probably should
oh yeah,
wrap
with some
this up now.
dungeons.
Yeah, so we have about 15 minutes left, so if there's stuff to show with dungeons, we should show those.
Yeah, let's go see the dungeons.
All right, let me see if
You
I
know
get
what
my...
else that means?
Ah,
15 minutes left means we've got some more prizes.
yes.
We've got a green marble dungeon rooms and hallways pack goes to Engel. An ornate 5 connection minecart dungeon foyer goes to Z. Ancient tomb dungeon entrance plus 50-point dungeon goes to Lily Bird. A dungeon iron cage with skeleton goes to Dimmy Love. An ancient stone dungeon room and hallways pack goes to Ryan Mercury. And an ornate giant Grim Reaper statue with magic portal dungeon entrance goes to Chihiro.
Congratulations,
Congrats,
everybody.
man. Some nice prizes.
Congrats, winners. All right, so new dungeon stuff. What are we going to look at?
So for those people who, for the cool kids at least, they will know that last release a new dungeon appeared. Surprise! That's a dungeon that I made on my stream that people have been enjoying having the extra content. I've been watching, there's been at least as many of my friends in Tartarus as there have been in upper tiers, which I think is a good thing. They say they like it a lot because it is pretty much you can get the same rewards type stuff as upper tiers, but there's actually some danger and movement involved. So for this release, we are I'm adding on to that. I streamed the start of my creation for the map on Monday, maybe, but I have not been back to do much with it. So the idea with this one is it was, as I mentioned, we're descending into the chaos portion of things. I'm not sure. I think I was having some errors when I tried to run a minute ago. But the short version is that this is kind of the start of it. This will all be done and live here in just a little while. But it's basically platforms with teleporters, and then there are those take you to the large platforms which have encounters on them. But then there's also a number of chambers that the teleporters will take you. So it's there's teleporters and leveling up and moving up and progression until you get to the final guy in the dungeon for this level of the dungeon, which is actually up here. And this is actually the player home, the Roman player home, just because I liked it so much. It's actually a slightly scaled up version of that. And the boss fight is actually in here. So anyway, so that will be live. This will be, I've been calling the top level is like tier 5 plus, the second level is like tier 8 plus. This is going to be more of a tier 10 plus. It'll be some of the hardest content in the game. There's going to be some more surprises in there besides the, again, figuring out the teleporters and the platform and the spawn cycles. The teleporters, there's also a gimmick with them where they only turn on, they cycle, so not all the teleporters are on at one time. So you may teleport up to a platform, but you have to stay on the platform until the next one cycles on so you can get off the platform. So if you're thinking you're going to sprint through and ignore everything, just jump teleporter to teleporter to teleporter, that's not going to happen. So anyway, so that should be in there. Am I actually showing? I never switched my stream, did I?
No, we can see you in Tartarus. So you're asking?
Oh no, that's not what I meant to be showing. Hold on, let me go do a quick.
You're in the edit.
Yeah, I'm in the edit. Ah, hold on.
Pro streaming.
Pros, we're professionals. Hold on. And I've been the whole.
Yeah, we've just been looking at a corridor this whole time, by the way.
Oh, that's great. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted you to see. Okay,
Yeah.
well, here you go. Here's what you were supposed to have been looking at.
Oh, that looks very different than just a corridor with a light spell. And an
Again-
avatar standing still.
This is not in play mode, so most of the VFX are there and the bloom isn't working right. And the platforms are about to be replaced. That'll happen before it gets in there. But it's basically a set of platforms. There are some encounters on the platforms, but again, the thing I was looking for is making it sure there were, there's safe platforms, there's dangerous platforms, there's teleporters. The teleporters cycle on and off, so again, you can't just sprint through platform to platform, or teleporter to teleporter to teleporter and skip all the content. So again, this will look very different when it's actually playing, just due to VFX don't show in the editor in this mode. But then the final thing again is this will be obscured somewhat by the particle effects, so it won't be quite this obvious. But the final thing is, again, you platform to platform, multiple teleporters. Each of the platforms has an encounter on them. Then each of these rooms have an encounter on them. So the teleporters, some of them will take you to these rooms. And again, it has the same gimmick of you've got to, the next teleporter won't turn on for 2 minutes. So you've got to at least survive, if not take on the room. And there's multiple different rooms in here. And some of these are modified versions of existing player dungeon pieces. But anyways, the end result is, at the end of it, you will appear right up here. And you will then, this is basically the big boss fight. And again, part of the challenge for this and the chaos besides the teleporters, and you get to see your progression as you move closer and closer to the end, is this is, it's a lot of isolated event or things where there's not a good way to get out of them. You kind of have to fight them or try to, you can possibly retreat to the previous platform. But again, it forces some stuff. This does have, you can always jump into the lava and just die in the lava. And then there's onks in the lava that when you get on an onk, basically if you fall into the lava, you will die and you will end up over here after the onk res. And restart the platform. So again, this is also, when I look at things, the other thing I'm looking at is not just the, here's my crazy adventure idea that I'm trying to get players to go through and play exactly how I want them to. I'm also trying to keep in mind things like cycles and adventure cycles, and that there's some players are going to do this as a loop. That they'll start off and they'll go through it, and if it's challenging, then yeah, they're going to talk it over and think about it on each platform and move to the next one carefully and be all that. I know how you guys are. There's going to be like 4 guys in here that are all crazy high level, super powerful, and they're looking at it for a loot cycle, loop, making sure they can get maximum possible experience points, all these other things, and they're going to do it over and over again just because it's a fun loop to do. So anyways, I'm trying to think about that too, and I'm always realistic about that and making sure that I'm paying attention to that and that the rewards can measure up to other scenes, because as we've seen, even if a scene is more interesting, it's more fun, if the rewards are 10% worse than scene X that is boring and tedious and repetitive, I will not name any such scenes, but they will do the scene that is 10% better. They want to make sure they're getting equal rewards. So anyways, that's kind of the rough version. Again, I haven't got the VFX. I've got exceptions when I play this in the editor, so you can see it now without, but this is kind of showing it off. I actually, if you go back and watch one of my 8-hour streams on this, I actually walked through teleporter to teleporter, so you can see the progression of it moving around. But that's the short version. Travis, did you have something you wanted to show?
Cool, yeah.
I got to figure out how I can show you.
How do I present now? That window. Show Unity. I might have to go to default view.
You're presenting. Hold on, let me expand your display capture. We're professionals. There we go. Okay. Camera's on you, no pressure. You got a keyboard, light switch, you got some marks on the wall behind you.
Alright, let me see what you guys can see. It just looks like a camera of my face that's very big.
Yes, that's exactly what they're seeing. You got to share your
screen. A moment ago, we
did
did see your editor.
Yeah, we did see the editor, and then it went away. You got to share screen. Now we see Keith's face. It's very big, too.
How's that?
Now we're seeing it.
Okay, I just can't click on it to lose focus. Oh, this is not the ideal window for this.
Exactly. If you
I can do
epilepsy, you should probably turn away now.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Again, this is, we would be in Skype, which gets a lot smoother frame rate on this stuff, but we're having some technical problems.
Alright, is it just my face again? What do they see?
No, they're seeing the editor. They're seeing your screen.
Okay.
Can you maximize your play screen?
Oh yeah, thank you, Keith. Great idea. Well, maximize. So I've been having some lighting issues, and they're at 30 meters away. light stop casting shadows, which Justin has been super responsive about improving. So this is kind of a the theme was going to be a bunch of the Northerners, the Norgarders, that keep going on these pilgrimages to this, you know, fabled island, which they think, you know, kind of afterlife. But so it'll be full of a lot of undead people. Chris kind of went the way with his Tartarus with very slow-moving, high hit point zombies, and I kind of want to do a Lost Trail treatment, like a smoky, like black, evil, very low hit point, very fast-moving zombies. And this is the editor view. The editor view, and I'll play in a sec if you want. So there's a bunch of bases.
Were those new cave tunnels you just went through, Travis?
I made a frozen set as a stretch reward, and I kind of just used the same materials. And so I want to do this dungeon in wings. So there's going to be like a frozen dungeon wing that'll come off of here, and that'll be nice because I can just kind of expand the dungeon as I want in different wings and open it. You know, one release. Here's a new wing to the dungeon. So there's some bats in here and stuff, but I've been having some lighting problems, so I thought I'd show you guys first in the editor what the intentional lighting scheme is going to be. So an interim fight here, and
your lighting problems are still make the scene look phenomenal.
Well, this is an editor, so if I go.
Oh, I see.
Let me see. So I'll hit play. So I thought I'd show you that first. I need to unmaximize this problem. So if you'll bear with me as we run out of time here, I'll run through it in editor and you can see the difference.
And while you're waiting for that to come up, Oop of the Veil, 200 bits, and Oop says approve of bats.
Thanks, guys.
Another 200 from Oop. Let's see, Winfield for 100 bits. Winfield again. Scooby-Doo. John Marcus again. Eric Rules. Elleran. Oh yeah, they were telling me that. Oh my goodness. T-Branch. T-Branch for 10,000 bits. Wow.
oh my god, thank you guys.
T-Branch, I guess that means you like the pirate ship. There may be a little more visual cleanup that happens on that, but it's already pretty cool. Again,
thanks, T-Branch.
Yeah, thank you, T-Branch. Thank you so much. And Winfield again, and Parson Bar, lots of new followers, lots of new everythings. And are you done yet? By the way, this would normally be, if this were my morning stream while I was sitting here drinking my coffee and all grumpy and stuff, this would be, or when I would be complaining about Unity and the iteration time in Unity these days.
Alright, so what do they see now?
They see a black screen.
Black screen.
Now.
Black screen.
Okay, let me fix that.
Aha,
yeah, the editor.
Now we see it.
Oh.
I think I have to keep
focus on it.
Yeah. How about now?
Now it's you.
It's back to you.
It's not what we want.
Now you're on the Twitch stream. Now you're doing the picture-in-picture thing. Endless hall of mirrors. Now we're looking at Keith. Hi, Keith. Smile. Okay, now it looks like you're getting the right thing up there. Okay.
We good?
And with seeing this is also the reminder that the dungeons I make are purely, they're very, let's just call them pragmatic and functional and kind of my usual way of doing things. Whereas Travis is actually an artist and a level builder. So you will be getting a lot cooler visuals from what Travis is making than what I make.
Travis, can you swim in that lake, or is it just ankle deep?
Okay. No, you can swim. It's pretty deep. I want to set more of these on fire, more of a hellacious, like
oh yeah,
the pilgrim
And T-Branch just threw, I think T-Branch just gifted or something. Oh, shared to 150 other in chat, 5,000 bits. So thank you, T-Branch.
Thank you, T-Branch.
Glad you like what you're seeing there.
If anybody's seen, there's this cool Russian fantasy movie called I Am Dragon. And watch it. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's pretty cool. But I wanted this kind of like hopeless, like a bunch of Vikings keep coming here, and they end up, we don't call them Vikings, the Norgarders end up here. And it's not what they anticipated it being. So this is my problem with the tower and the 30-meter.
Oh, yeah.
So if you get up close...
So how big would you say your whole dungeon here is? Like, could you compare it to some other dungeon or space that we have?
Right now, it's these 2 chambers I'm prepared to share, and then I think come like Monday next week, there'll be some more corridors and more... so I'm just going to do wing by wing. It's not huge, but we don't want to... So like right here is what it should look like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you should see. But Justin has responded, as he's great with, that kind of became a hard-coded cap, but we're going to work on that. So right now it's just like 3-4 encounters. And then this tower didn't have, or this is spoilers, this tower didn't have an interior, so I modeled out an interior. And if you've been to other dungeons like the Fall, where there's those attunement buffs, there will be a buff in here that will help you potentially with the fight if you can find the jumping puzzle to swirl around and get in there. So that's what I wanted to show today. Just a sneak peek. This couple of rooms.
Do you have an idea how players will get to this dungeon when you eventually put it in?
On the far north is my only caveat at the moment. I started at the far north in kind of teasing on the borders of episode 2, which is in the far north. So
somewhere in the North Palatus area.
Yeah.
North Verdantis.
Yeah.
Or perhaps even Nordgard.
Yeah, definitely northern shore of probably Nordgard. But yeah, that's it. And we'll get the lighting looking in game, hopefully. And I've noticed a lot of old dungeons too, like the same. Like there's not a lot of shadows in dungeons, but Justin's rad, so we'll get on it.
Yeah, nice.
All right, let me see if I can switch back to. Oh wait, I know what I need to do. I need to do that to get you guys back up there, and then I need to come down here and do this thing. Change your layout back to that.
Travis, you're still presenting?
I don't know how to stop.
Well, we see you, and there we go.
Oh, there you go.
I don't want to be the big, trust me.
Let me get back on that.
All right. While that's all happening, I just want to thank everyone for joining us with our weekly live stream, and congratulations again to all the prize winners. And a reminder, there's a ton of community events, including I think there's three different events related to the Midsummer Blot. There's the Release 66 Welcome Quest. That's one of the oldest recurring events in the game. There's the Concert by the Sea, the Grandmaster Tutoring event for Pride, the 5th Annual Soldiers Memorial Ball, the Shroud of the Avatar.net monthly raffle, and then of course Release 67, which will be on QA next week. And a reminder, when you play on QA, you get all sorts of cool, rare prizes, including the Corpion chair. So all sorts of cool stuff. And check all of that out in the forum, in the events calendar section. And Release 67, of course, will be going live at the end of this month on the 27th, quickly followed by the Release 67 live stream on July 5th, the day after Lord British's birthday. Happy
birthday, Lord British.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the 2019 version of the Lord British birthday cake is now live as of today with unique cupcakes. So get that along with our largest houses ever, the giant pirate galleon Castle Homes. So check them out. And thank you for joining us, and thank you for being an awesome community. And it's good to be back from vacation.
Welcome back, sir. It's great to have you back.
And it is good to have you back, by the way. They're not just saying that. The chat's always quieter when you're not around. You need to jump on there and stir us up some more. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. And I guess since I've got the controls here to hang up, I just want to thank everybody for coming out and for being so awesome and for the positive feedback on things and the constructive feedback on things. I'm sure the next release is going to be the most awesome release ever, as always. But I guess that's probably it. We will get these technical issues worked out on the stream. For those who didn't know, I got a new computer and I had to get things set up again on the new computer, and it wasn't quite set up for Skype. I got to figure out some kinks. But I think that's it. Whoa, that's not it. We got to figure out who we're going to raid.
Yeah. Time to raid.
This is the prime time raid here. Let's see.
Thanks everybody for everything. Thanks Eric. Follow the just playing the game, following. It's good to see you guys. Have a great weekend.
And also, emotes. Special thanks out to T-Branch today, who is feeling most generous. And also is enjoying his pirate ship. But it looks like there's only one person out there, so they're going to get it, because everybody comes to watch our stream when we do our thing here. So we are going to be raiding Famines.
Oh, Famines, great. I might sub to Famines. Their emotes are fantastic. Must say.
All right, we are queuing up there to go to Famines. He's just about to start. He's probably watching our stream right now, and we'll probably jump in as soon as we go over there. But I guess that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. And
thanks, everybody.
And one last thing, for those who watch my stream, I will be out Monday, Tuesday, and probably Wednesday of next week. So my next stream will probably be on Thursday. Hopefully one of the two guys down at the bottom of the screen can do something, but I think Travis is going to a wedding. So it's up to you, Keith. No pressure,
man.
All
right. I'll have to, maybe I'll work on Ulfheim.
They like
Ulfheim reimagining.
Ooh, that's a treat. I've seen it. There's some cool mechanics. That's kind of a treat, so yeah, if you get.
Yeah.
All right, we are ready to go. So, guys, see you next week. Thanks for all the support, and let's go raid. Raid button click. Now I got to click the end stream.